Hi. So I'm back, part 3. So now we're getting into actual beach vacation, but like I said, everything that happened prior to that is significant and important, I feel like. As I always say, eat the meat, spit out the bones, but I pray that you take something from this that blesses your life, that helps you and encourages you and uplifts you. So, like I said in the previous video, the Lord had me do things at work that I wouldn't usually do, because, like I said, He knows all things, and I was just obedient. Even at home, I was doing little stuff and I didn't know why. Whenever I go on vacation, I like to come back to a clean house, but I was just doing the most. And I really didn't know why. Like I was doing the most, but I know why. I said I didn't know why. I know why. The Lord was leading me, and I was obedient. So anyway, day comes. We all load up into a van. We drove as a family, and we were going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And like I said, we are approaching the 1-year anniversary of this happening, of this incident. To God be the glory. I'm going to try not to get emotional, because it's still emotional for me. It's still hard for me to talk about. But to God be the glory. Just as I say that. Okay. So excited to be on vacation with my family at this point. The drive up there was amazing. This was June 2025. We were going from June 26th to coming back on the 29th. Coffee break. Whew. Thank you, Jesus. Okay, I can do this. So, second day we're there. It's about 5 o'clock. We all well, not all. The majority of the people on the trip, me and my family, decide to go to the beach at about 5 o'clock. Now I'm going to say this. May not be a popular thing to say, and everyone may not agree with it. I don't believe that just because you are blood related to someone that makes them family. I have friends that I consider to be family. This is important to say because I really think that this is an issue that people deal with. And in my personal opinion, just because you're blood related, that does not make you family. That doesn't make someone love you and care about you and, all the things. And this is what the Lord was showing me in this season. And it's important for me to say that because it's not just what I was dealing with then and my whole life with this particular family member, but it's what has trickled down now to something I'm dealing with now, and what is soon to be my testimony that I'm going to share, but it's still cooking right now. But this person is involved in that season and the season that I'm in now. So when I say said family member, just know this is a family member that is not very caring unless they benefit in some way, and is not very thoughtful or compassionate unless they benefit in some way. So when I say said family member, this is who I'm talking about. Someone that the Lord had highlighted to me fully, because I had known in the past how this family member was, but during this season I saw it on full blast, and it couldn't be any more clear and obvious that, the Lord was showing me they don't care about you, they care about themselves, and move accordingly. So, in my personal opinion, just because you share blood with someone, that whole saying, blood is thicker than water, I don't go by that at all. That could be furthest from the truth. That's world stuff. Even Jesus said, who is my father and mother? Who is my mother? Okay? So, keep that in mind. So, when I say said family member, this is who I'm talking about. Like I said, most of us had decided to, and see, this is how the devil works, go to the beach about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I will say the family member that I am closest with, and this is how the devil works, decided to stay back in the hotel because they had pretty much had enough of said family member and was like, no, I'm just gonna enjoy the quiet while y'all go to the beach. But the one that stayed back in the hotel is the one that I'm the closest with, and that me and her are tight and have always been. So again, it's the second day. It's about 5 o'clock. We all decide to go watch the sunset. I'll just say that 3 of my family members that are all male decided to leave us and not tell us and go to like the pier, I think, and didn't tell anyone. They're all males. This is important. And I'm left with, I'll just say it was my dad and my 2 brothers. Yes, my 2 brothers that went and left to go to the pier. So I was left on the beach with said family member, my mom, my 2 nieces, and again, my sister was up in the hotel. All my brothers left their cell phones. No, that's not right. My dad left his cell phone up in the room, in our hotel room. My brother left his cell phone on the beach with us. And another one of my brothers took his cell phone, but he didn't have good cell service. So again, my dad and 2 brothers went to the pier and didn't tell anyone. So you can already see how the devil is working. And I'm left on the beach with my 2 young nieces, teenage nieces, said family member who is female, and my mom who had just had, we'll just say, an experience where her walking and balance wasn't the best. But all praise to God, she is well. But again, she wasn't quite 100% yet. So her walking and balance and certain things wasn't 100%. All of this is important to the next part of the story, getting into the injury. So the whole time we were there, me and my nieces were on the hunt trying to find the perfect seashell. And at this particular beach, Myrtle Beach, if you know, they don't have a ton of seashells. But like if you go into the water, and we had like little scoops and sand buckets and stuff, you could get a few. And so our determination and thinking was, okay, if we go into the water and we, get a scoop of the sand that's, in the water, we would typically find really good seashells, not broken and cracked and all that. So I was there with my two nieces and we were doing that. My mom and other said family member stayed further back, not in the water. And so I was there with them, watching them. Again, it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. Never, ever, ever again will I ever be in the ocean at 5 o'clock. Do not recommend. 1000% don't do it. So I'm looking around and I'm like, hey, where did my dad and brothers go? They're gone. Didn't tell nobody. And so me and my nieces are in the water. My youngest niece decides that she's going to go out into the actual sand and sieve and look through the sand looking for seashells. So it was me and my oldest niece in the water. And we weren't like far out in the water. But the waves were coming up and they were getting, pretty aggressive during this time of day, but I was, holding on to her, watching her, grabbing her, and I'd say, look out, there's a wave coming. And she'd tell me, look out, there's a wave coming. Never in my life had I ever, okay, let me just say. So again, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. My youngest niece had gone out looking for seashells elsewhere. Me and my oldest niece are in the water, and I get this very eerie feeling, the kind that makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and just like, and the second I felt that, a wave came from the side and knocked me and my niece down in the water. And the second it happened, I hear and feel a pop in my knee. Both me and my niece fall. I fall completely down and she kind of falls over, and I'm holding on to her. I was holding on to her the whole time because the waves were that intense. But again, we weren't far out in the water. It was just the time of day, I guess. And I fall down and the waves keep coming, and my niece is holding on to me. God bless her heart. Ooh, try not to get emotional. That's the part that really gets me, because my poor niece. And I felt so bad for her, because she was really trying to help me. Woo. Okay. I was trying not to cry. I'm gonna have to get a tissue. Pause for the cause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So my niece, the waves keep pounding us. And my niece says, Auntie, you have to get up because more waves are coming. And I said, baby, I can't. I said, my knee. I kept trying to get up and my knee would not. I couldn't get up. I couldn't put any weight on it. And my younger niece, she was kind of far out. She didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what was going on. She was just looking for seashells. And the water kept hitting me in the face, hitting us. And my mom and said family member were sitting out, kind of watching us, but also watching my younger niece. Coffee break. And I knew that something wasn't right. And I was just in shock. Um, because I kept trying to get up and I couldn't get up. And so my niece is like, Auntie, you have to get up. And I said, I can't get up, honey. Oh, gosh, I so didn't want to cry. And so I'll never forget this. There are all of these men with their wives and their girlfriends and everything, and they could have come and helped. And they just stood there and just stared at me. Not one of them came to help, not one. And their, girlfriends or wives or whatever were just looking at them like, you better not help her. I would never in my life ever tell my significant other, my partner, not to help. Never. As a matter of fact, me and you are going to be racing over there to see who gets to that person first. But anyways, I kept trying to get up and I couldn't get up. And my niece waved down my mom and said family member and said, we need help. We need help. She can't get up. Still, none of these men come and help, kind of look the other way. But they're all they're all looking at me, staring at me, seeing that I need help, but they're not coming to help. And again, see, this is how the devil works, because my dad and brothers are gone and didn't tell nobody and don't have their cell phones. So, except one. And the one family member that I knew would have walked through fire to be there, she would have known in a second that I needed help. So my niece, flags my mom and said family member down and says, we need help. Like I said, my mom had just gone through a difficult time and walking and her balance was not 100% at the time. She got to me before said family member did, because the said family member was embarrassed that I was hurt. Let that sink in. And I couldn't believe it. And so my mom had gotten to me first. And it was her and my oldest niece had helped me up. And by this time, my youngest niece kind of had saw that something was going on and had come. And said family member came to me and said, you need to stop being dramatic. You're making a scene. And you're drawing attention to yourself. So I held my composure. It didn't hurt. I'm lying. It hurt. It hurt. And every time I tried to walk on, because it was my right leg, my right knee, every time I tried to walk, it felt like something would go bloop, and it would slip out of place and it would lock. And when that would happen, it would be excruciating pain. And so I couldn't walk on it, because every time I tried to walk on it or put pressure on it, it would shift. Now, at this point, I knew, okay, something isn't right. I just didn't know how bad. And I was like, oh, Lord. So, my mom and um, my mom and said family member and my nieces got me out of the water. And I am processing. I'm still in shock because I cannot walk on my leg at all. Can't put any pressure on it. So I'm just in shock. And I'll never forget my um, family member set me still pretty close to the water. And my mom immediately tries to get in contact with my dad, and she can't get my dad. And a few minutes later, my sister calls, because she's the family member that stayed back in the hotel, and she calls, and she's like, "Dad left his phone up here." And so that took a few minutes for us to find out that my dad didn't even have his cell phone with him, because I guess he's like, oh, I'm going to be on the beach with like 10 other people, or a bunch of other people that have their cell phones. So then my mom tries to call my brother. Well, we hear his phone ring and it's on the beach with us. He doesn't have it either. So we're like, darn. Because where they set me was during the time of the day the tide was coming up, and it was getting to me. And said family member said to me, you better toughen up because I'm not moving you anymore. And so I had to I began to try to crawl back away from the water. And when they saw that I was crawling back, I guess that was embarrassing to them. Can you imagine? And they then came and decided to help me get further back from the water. And so then my mom went on to try and call. Mind you, my mom was trying to call everyone else because said family member was over there feeling embarrassed for themselves. Tried to then call my brother and couldn't get through to my brother. Kept calling. But we realized that out of all of them, all three of them, he was the one, that probably had his cell phone. So, like I said, my sister had stayed back in the hotel because she had pretty much had enough of said family member for the day and just wanted some peace and quiet. And she was in the shower. So my mom had called my dad's cell phone, which was still in the hotel room, 2 or 3 times. And when she saw that the last time that my mom had called, she answered and she was like, oh, Dad, And then she had called me and was like, do you need me? She's like, I knew something was going to happen. She said, I had this feeling. She was like, I felt like something was going to happen. And me being me, I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm here with Mom and said family member. I really needed her. But I was like, she had just gotten a shower and I was just like, it'll be okay. And she's like, I can come, I can help you. What happened? What's wrong? And I was telling her and she was like, I'm coming, I can come. And I was like, no, I was like, just stay up there. I was like, I was just like, keep calling Dad, keep trying to call Dad. And so finally, my one of my brothers who did take his cell phone with them to the pier he finally got a signal, and they told him, and I can't remember if it was me that was able to reach him or someone else. I think it was me, because I think I remember telling him I can't put any pressure on it. I can't walk. Like I need you guys to come back. And so they immediately came back, and if you can imagine, if you've ever been to Myrtle Beach and you know where the pier is and stuff, it's quite a walk. And like I said, the tide was coming in, so the water was coming up more and more. And we're gonna pause the video and do a part 4, because this is getting long and I don't want these videos to be too long. Sorry, but it gets more. All glory and praise be to God. I'm not gonna cry in the next video. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna cry. Okay, till next time.